Hey, hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm in Aishar. Hope you all are doing good and safe wherever you are. So today's agenda, I'm going to demonstrate you how you can keep your ARM templates or ARM templates of your Azure Data Factory pipelines inside Git, or else how to enable the Git on your ADF pipeline. So we all know that by default, Azure Data Factory provides you an interface where you can create the pipelines, the data sets, and the linked services, and you work on them, and you just publish them, and you run them directly. You don't have any history of the changes that you have done on the pipelines or the data factory or the services that you use in ADF. So to provide a better authorization experience, ADF allows you to configure a Git repository with the existing either with Azure repos, or you can use the Git as well, GitHub as an version control system. This will allow you to track your changes and also help you in collaboration, so that different people in the same team can work on the pipeline with different activities or else different features. So to the main advantages of having the Git integration with the ADF pipeline is, as I mentioned, you will have this as a source control system where you can have the ability to track and audit the changes, and also if you want to revert the changes, you can also do that wherever needed. If something happened and some bug is introduced in your system because of the change, you can just revert that. The other thing is, you can partially save your works that you have done on the ADF pipeline, and you can resume wherever needed. So when you partially save that data, it will when you partially save your pipeline, it will automatically get saved in your Azure repos, and Azure repos or Git repo, and then you can continue uh, from that point the next time. Also, it helps in collaboration and control. If you have multiple team members contributing to the same data factory, then it will let the team members collaborate with each other, and also it helps in code review process as well. There is also one more advantage that you will get with the by enabling the Git, that is better CI/CD. You can have if you have multiple environments like dev production environment, you can enable or you can configure the integration and release pipelines, and have it readily deployed automatically by using the uh, pipelines. So to get started, let me share my screen first, and I will show you how to do that by using the portal, and I will walk you through that. So for this section, what I need is, I need an ADF pipeline, and I have to git enabled it, and I need a repo, which it can be either in GitHub or it can be in Azure DevOps. So I will create one in Azure DevOps, and I will show you how it goes. So to start with, I will create a data factory. So you can search for data factory, and you can create one. So you're gonna select your subscription and the resource group, then the region, then you can name your ADF pipeline, or else ADF service. And right now I'm not enabling it. I will show you how to enable it once we create this ADF pipeline. So leaving the rest of the things to be default, I am going to review. Okay, I have to just later configure get later, then create and review. So this will create the Azure data service in your resource group. So let's see how the deployment goes. So it will just take a couple of minutes. You will have your ADF ready here. Just taking some time. So here you have this ADF pipeline. So you can go to the studio where you can write, where you can create your pipeline. So when you come here, you have an option to git enable it. So you have this here at the left hand top, setup git repository. So let's click that, and you have to select your git repository here, like what is your repo, or else what is your version control system going to be. Either it can be an Azure DevOps or it can be GitHub. So I'm going to choose it as Azure DevOps. So let me show you that first, like my Git repository, how it looks. So I have a organization created inside my Azure DevOps. So let me create a project. So I'm going to give it a name as ADF project and create. So this will create me a project. And if you look at the repos right now, I have the repo which is ADF project. So I am going to use this same repo here. So let's go to, or else I can create one in the fly as well. So if I go and select Azure DevOps, uh, the tenant is same, then continue. So this will list me the list of organizations. So I'm going to select the one, then the project name, ADF project. Then it is asking for repository. You can select the repository here, and the branch, collaboration branch. So I'm going to create a new one and naming it as main or master. Publisher branch, I will not use it right now. So I will let you know what is this publish branch. So collaboration branch is the branch where you have your final code. That is, that code will be published to your ADF, and you will have it production ready. And if you want to do some kind of changes, you always create feature branches. So that branches will be created in the form of this publish branch, and you will always merge your feature branches to the main branch. I hope that you know this basic ADO terminology. So let's apply this. So once this is applied, you will see that it is enabled for this ADF service. So it is just taking a minute here. Once this is enabled, you will be able to see some changes in your repo as well. So let's give a minute here. So meanwhile, what I will do is I will just go to this resource group and I will create a storage account. I'm going to use it in a pipeline. So let me just create that real quick. So storage account, the subscription, the resource group, and the storage account name. Region, and review and create. So this will create me a storage account, and I'm going to use this in my pipeline. Let's see if this finished. No, it's still applying. So this is deploying the storage here. Okay, so repo is connected, and let's just save this. And I hope the storage is also created here. Okay, the storage is created, but it is just taking some time. Okay, now if you come here, you will see the change that is, you will be able to see a main branch here. And if you uh, refresh your repo, you will be able to see your factory here. Now what we're gonna do is, inside this main branch, we're gonna create a very basic pipeline. So let's create something out here. So I'm just going to create copy blob pipeline, and I'm going to have a copy activity here. I will have a source here. So I need to create data sets. If you are not if you are for the first time, if you are visiting this pipeline creation and data factory data set creation, you can visit my YouTube channel. I have created a very basic pipeline, how to create pipeline data set linked services for this copy activity. So continue. Let's see if this storage account is available here or not. So I have the storage account, and I'm going to create a container. So let's name it source and have a file here. Let's upload a file. Any sample file will make sense. So I'm going to copy some data file and upload. So I have a source here. So let's just name this data set as a source data set, and I need to add a linked service as well. So I'm going to select the subscription and the storage account as this, and create, and I have to select the container now, source. Here you go, and save this. So I have a source here, so I need a destination as well. So let's create a destination container as well. Okay, so this container will be created here, and I'm going to use it in the sync part of the copy activity. So I have it ready. So in the sync, I'm going to create a new data source, sorry, data set. Again, this is same, and the linked service is same. This I'm going to name it as destination ds, and the container is destination container. Save. So my pipeline is ready with a very basic copy activity, which will copy data from one blob to one container to another container. So now what I need to do is, if I want to stop my work here, I just have to save all. So you see the message saying successfully saved to Git repository. Now if you go to Git and if you refresh this, you will be able to see your data sets, which is destination ds json and source ds json file, and you have your pipeline, which is copy blob. So you will see the activities whatever we have. So copy data one activities here, uh, and the inputs are source ds and the destination ds, and you have this configured here. This is how you will have a linked service as well. Now if I go to the live mode, uh, which is the data factory authorization mode, you will not be able to see your pipelines here. This is because this is Git enabled, and you haven't published it. If you want to publish, you have to publish it from the this mode, which is Git mode. So now if I publish this, all the changes will be published to that uh, data factory mode as well. So it is publishing, which means deploying 3 of 3 resources. Once this is finished, you will be able to see. it in the data factory mode as well. Yeah, generating ARM templates is done, and if I go to live mode now, you will be able to see it here. I can trigger it now. So successfully running the pipeline. So if you come here, this is the copy activity is done. Now if you go to destination, you will be able to see the file. So this is how you just enable it. So now one thing I will show you here. Let's say if you want to add something here. Let's say if I'm going to add some activity after my copy activity, and the setting is somewhere around, wait and 2 seconds, and try to publish this. It will not allow you to make changes or to publish this in the data factory mode. If you want to do these changes again, you have to go to your git mode, and you need to work on this here, and you need to save it to the repo, and you need to publish it. So generally what we will do is, whenever we want to do some changes, we will create always a future branch. So you have to create a new branch. So wait activity feature. You can name your branch based on your feature requirements. So I have created a branch which is wait activity branch, and if you just refresh this, you will be able to see it in the repos as well. So wait activity feature. So this is exact copy of your dev now. Sorry, exact copy of your main branch. So inside your copy blob, you will see the activities, which is copy data activity in the data and source DS and destination DS. Now let's add a wait activity and see. So let's save this now. Now if you save this, it will be saved to Git repository, and it will be saved to the branch called wait activity feature. Now if you just refresh this, you will be able to see the changes. So this is the wait activity, and the wait time we put it as 2 seconds. Now if you just move this from wait activity to main branch, you will not see the changes. That is how the Git works. So now what you can do is, you can create a pull request to merge from one branch to another branch. So my current branch is wait activity feature branch to the main branch. So let's just copy this. You will have some title here, and you will add some description. And you're gonna add reviewers here. If you need, if you have your reviewers, you can add it here, or else you can directly create, you can create your pull request. So I'm just going to create it. So this will create a pull request which is PR in ADO. You just need to approve this and complete this to make it available in the main branch. So let's just complete. So while completing this pull branch, it will ask you to delete the feature branch. If you want to delete it after merging, you can just check this and complete. So this will start merging from one branch to your main branch. So this merge is completed. Now if you go to your main branch, you will be able to see the changes being reflected. So this is how. And now if you go to your ADF pipeline, and if you just try to refresh this, it's just loading a minute. So hope you guys are able to understand the thing I am explaining here. It's just taking a bit of time here. Okay, so if you see here, it is saying previously we have set our working branch as wait activities no more available in the remote. So you can just switch it to main, which is fine. So now if you switch to main, you will be able to see your wait activity being here. But this has to be published, then only it will be available in live mode. When you go to live mode, you won't be able to see it here. So you have to publish it from the git mode, then only you will be able to see. So now I'm publishing the changes. Once the changes are published to the ADF service, then you will be able to see it on the live mode as well. So let's give a minute here. Hope you are liking the content. If you have any questions or feedbacks, please do share it on the comment section, and please enable the notification so that you will be able to get all the videos. So whenever I post it, you will get a notification. And please do encourage this YouTube channel. So this is still taking some time. Okay, so I'm going to publish this. Okay, publishing one on one resource. Okay, the publish is completed. Now if you go to your live mode, you will be able to see the changes. See here, you are able to see. Now I'm going to run it one more time and show you the activities. So I'm going to delete the file in the destination, and let's just trigger this. So this is running. Let's go to monitor and see. So I have this copy activity, and when I go inside this, it is successfully completed the copy activity, and the wait activity is now running. If I just refresh, this is also completed. Now if I go to destination and refresh, I will be able to see. So this is how you're gonna enable the git, and you will have your changes being tracked inside your ADF. You can always go to history and see the changes, and if you want to revert, you can do it by using the features that ADOS supports. So that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoy the content. So thank you so much, and I will be back with a new video in the same channel. And kindly share and subscribe this channel. Thank you so much. Bye.